Okay, so I'm doing this movie review. That's what's happening right now. I've never done a movie review on this channel before, not directly, but this is big enough for me to bother. I just got back from seeing Top Gun Maverick. Um, just a little bit of backstory. It's going to be a brief, spoiler-free review. I grew up on Top Gun. Top Gun is, I've said this so many times recently, it's actually starting to get played out, but I have seen Top Gun so many times, it doesn't make any sense. To me, Top Gun is my Frozen. Like, some of you have children, some of you don't have children, you're obsessed with Frozen, and more power to you. Top Gun is that movie for me. And it literally came out, I'm not going to date myself, but let's just say it came out while I was alive. All right. And so I was watching this since I was a boy, a wee lad. Uh, and yes, I've always loved Top Gun. So when I was able to get tickets to see the early screening, not super early, because clearly I'm not on the level of a lot of YouTubers and important people, clearly, but I went and I bought those tickets immediately and I just got back and holy crud, it was amazing. It there are a lot of movies. Uh there's been a resurgence of update updated movies, um sequels, reboots, all the sorts. And a lot of them have captured some of the magic and some have done really well. Everything from Star Wars to Star Trek, Terminator, Aliens, Matrix, Jurassic Park, Blade Runner, Dune. I'm not really gonna talk about Blade Runner and Dune because they're pretty goddamn they're pretty good. They were good. They were really good. So yeah, yeah. This movie somehow managed to elevate the original and pay homage to it, and it did just a beautiful job of that. Um, and I'm just going to talk a little bit, about three key things, and then overall, I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot, and talk a little bit about the characters and the music, and I'm just going to overall plot. Um, this was less cheesy than the original movie. The original movie is great for the time period. This felt a little bit weightier than the original movie, and that's a fantastic thing. There are definitely going to be some parts where you're going to have to suspend a little bit of belief, but I'm sure a bit of that kind of happens in the first one too, just not quite to this extent. But it's also the changing of the times. That's a standard thing that happens in movies nowadays, it seems. Um, but I do think even with those brief moments where they kind of went above and beyond, I think it was a pretty fantastic job. And I'm sure there are technical inaccuracies there. I mean, again, there have to be to some degree. It's a movie about fighter planes, and you simultaneously are going to have to make it where it's entertaining for the audiences, but also it's going to be grounded enough, right? It has to be. But the plot, if I had to give it a score out of 10 for the plot, I'm definitely going to give it a solid 8. Solid 8 on the plot. Which brings me to the characters. It definitely, again, elevates the original. Or I shouldn't say elevates the original. It makes the original better, but it's also above the original. The characters feel less caricature, a little bit more realistic. But listen, if you've known people who are pilots, heck, if you've even known some police officers, you kind of know like a little bit of that mindset, that attitude, that edge that they have. Um, and it's part of what goes with it, right? I mean, if I'm literally flying a multi-million dollar jet faster than most human beings will ever go in their lives, yeah, you're gonna have an edge. There's really no way around it. I mean, we see people in sports cars and we see how they don't know how to act, right? Um, but I think the standout characters, of course, Maverick, Tom Cruise's Maverick, and Miles Teller's Rooster, they do a really, really good job. You really feel not just visually, but just the way Miles Teller portrays Rooster, it feels like he's Goose's son. Like it, and Maverick's, like Tom Cruise's portrayal of Maverick does not feel out of character at all. It feels like a continuation of the original, as it should, but it's so he simultaneously nailed that reckless hotshot attitude, but also older, wiser mentor type. Um, and just the weight of Miles Teller's Rooster character being there, like you felt it because I don't know how many of you have watched Top Gun recently. I watched it a couple weeks back in preparation for this, um, and it the movie is almost two tones. It's everything prior. Spoilers for the original Top Gun. So if you haven't watched it, just gonna. Okay, so there's two sides to the original Top Gun. Everything prior to Goose's death and everything after. The movie feels almost like two separate stories if you really watch it because it feels fun and light and there's some character drama and then after Goose's death it's like it becomes almost an entirely different movie. It becomes super serious. All the jokes that were there before, you're lucky if you hear even one joke after Goose dies from then until the end of the movie. It's like there might be a sprinkling, whereas before, you couldn't go more than like a minute and a half without someone cracking some jokes, someone being goofy. Um, and I say that to say that you feel like Maverick is still healing in this movie. Um, and in many ways he is. And Tom Cruise does a really good job at portraying this character after not really being there for 36 years. It's pretty spot on. Felt like, and we see him in a lot of things, so it was like, bravo, bravo, and everybody's performances were really great. Jennifer Connelly, um, the many other actors and actresses who were in the movie. I cannot remember everyone's names. It was great to see Ed Harris. I think John Hamm. I am going to ruin this and kick myself after this is over, but it is what it is. But yes, um, characters. I think they did a great job. Out of 10, um, if I'm comparing it to the original, or if I'm just going by a movie standard, it's tricky. If I'm comparing it to the original, then characters in this easy 9. If I'm just saying overall movie standard, I mean, still probably like a solid 7, 8. Um, yeah, yeah. And then soundtrack, music, sound design. I'll just say visual, audio, visual, everything. It was really, really well done. Obviously, I don't know how many of you know what went into making this movie, um, because of course it's a movie involving the United States military. There's going to be a lot of collaboration there. Um, and a lot of amazing camera work was done inside the planes. And bravo to the actors and actresses who were filming while in the planes. That's a lot to just kind of take on for a project in general. Once in a lifetime experience, and I'm so amazed and in awe that not only the accomplishment, but they accomplished it, but actually had an opportunity to do so. Like it's great. Um, but it was amazing to see. You definitely want to see it in IMAX, or widescreen Dolby, whatever you can, but biggest screen possible because you want full immersion as much as possible. Uh, music, there the original movie had a lot of standout tracks. Um, this less so, but it did reuse some of the original music. For all those people who wanted to hear Mighty Wings, I'm just telling you right now, Mighty Wings is not there. I'm sorry. But Danger Zone is. I don't care if that's a spoiler. It's there. It's there. Enjoy it. Be grateful. um, and of course, Lady Gaga does an original song for it. There's another original song that plays earlier in the movie. But musically, it's not going to ring so much, I don't think, with the new, new generation, the new movies and soundtracks. But it's still a solid soundtrack with really good classic rock. It's just not. I don't know how much you're going to be humming later on because the classic rock songs that are in there, classic rock songs that you've probably heard before, and so you've heard it before. Like, there's no reason for you to now be humming it in this movie, unless it's your first time hearing "Won't Get Fooled Again." But I mean, yeah, you've probably heard it. But that said, music, audio, visual, all of that, amazing. But I mean, visually more amazing than music wise. So, you know, all in all, I'll give them about a 6.5, 7. Mainly, it mainly higher because of the visuals, but music, nothing really too crazy to write home about. It was just nice to have some nostalgic tracks. Um, yeah. So overall, that puts the movie, I believe, at like a solid 7.5, 8, if I'm going by everything. But as a Top Gun fan, oh, this movie was like 12 out of 10, yo. I I mean, this is not a deep cut, but I'm telling everybody right now, I may go play Ace Combat right now. I might go rewatch Iron Eagle. I am all in right now. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Yeah, I said Iron Eagle. I almost said Firebirds. Everybody loves Nick Cage. I'm just saying, I would do that. I would do that. I don't have Firebirds now. I'm sad. Anyway, that is my review of Top Gun Maverick. Please go see it, biggest screen possible. If you are a Top Gun fan, if you are not a Top Gun fan, I mean, it's still a fun watch. Summer movie. Hey, can't go wrong with that, right? Um, you know, enjoy. And thank you. This was fun. We should do this more often, right? Right? No? No, we shouldn't? Okay, well, it's your call, right?